So recently I started playing Celeste, a game which I should probably have tried a long time ago, because it is outrageously good. But to be honest, you probably don't need me to tell you that. One of the main things that makes Celeste so great is the movement system. The game has a lot of depth when you consider it's really only comprised of about 3 moves: jumping, dashing, and climbing. But the devs of the game are actually super smart, and they carefully designed some advanced movement tech that exploits the intersection and the interaction of these moves. So by combining these moves in different ways, you can find some secret moves that function as sort of variants on the core mechanics. For example, there is a move called the Super Dash, which is the combination of a dash and a jump. By dashing on the ground and hitting the jump button right at the end of your dash, you'll get a jump that is much further than you'd typically be able to perform by just running and jumping. Now, all this creative game design and cool movement tech got me thinking more about my own game, which shares a lot of similarities to Celeste, particularly the focus on technical movement and platforming. Like Celeste, I've previously thought about how players could improve and develop their skills throughout the game, and that resulted in me adding some great features like the backwards wall kick and slide hopping. But playing Celeste really made me think about the systems in my game and what else could be exploited to bring more depth and a higher skill ceiling. So I noticed there was one move in my game that really stood out as lacking that depth of mechanical design, and that is the wall run. Currently it's positioned as more of a beginner move with some generous snapping to the wall and minimal button presses for it to be executed. Overall, I am generally pretty happy with this as the direction for the wall run to have taken. However, it doesn't really open up great opportunities for higher skilled players. One key thing for me here though was that I didn't really want to disrupt the gameplay for the lower skilled players in an attempt to cater for higher skilled players. In other words, whatever I changed had to be additive and not make the wall run more difficult by default. This is where Celeste's movement tech comes in. I could take the theory of exploiting the space between moves to make something special for my game. The idea I came up with is to allow players to hold the down button while jumping off the wall, to instead jump them downwards from the wall. This has some risks and rewards for players. Players risk potentially killing their momentum if they land badly, or even risk missing a jump. So for lower skilled players, it's much easier to manage than a normal jump out the wall run, as it sends you upwards and gives you more time to evaluate your surroundings before you have to make the next decision. For higher skilled players though, the rewards for executing the new downwards jump can be pretty good. First off, I give you a slight speed boost alongside the downwards velocity. This means it can be comboed into slides and other moves to help you build speed across a run. Additionally, there is one extra bit of tech that gets opened up by this change too. It's even more difficult to pull off, but if you practice and get familiar with the key press timings, it can be super powerful. I'm currently calling this move wall slide hops, which I know is a terrible name, but I couldn't really think of anything else. By positioning yourself next to a wall, you can alternate between slide hops and wall runs, using this new downwards hop to help you build speed very quickly. You can also do one-off little wall runs in tighter spaces to give you crucial little speed boosts. In the end, it turns out playing Celeste was actually a really good idea for me, and I'm super happy with this change. So I'm definitely going to be looking for more intersections between the moves in my game to add extra depth to the game overall. Make sure to wishlist the game on Steam and remember to subscribe, or I'll fall into a never-ending pit and be cursed with a life of immortality where I'll eventually become a shriveled husk of a human forced to suffer the endless torment of my own thoughts.